In the dim light of a strategy room, a solitary figure stands hunched over a map, his fingers tracing over borders, rivers, and fortresses. His eyes, sharp and determined, gleam with the promise of a new dawn, a transformed world. This isn't just any leader. This is Napoleon Bonaparte, the maestro orchestrating a vast symphony of change. As he contemplates his next move, Europe holds its collective breath, knowing that with every decision he makes, the course of history shifts. Today, we delve deep into the genius and ambition of a man, who in the span of a few decades, rewrote the story of a continent. In the swirling vortex of the early 19th century, Europe stood at the precipice of change, teetering between the remnants of old monarchies and the beckoning of new empires. Dominating this transformative landscape was the ever-expanding shadow of Napoleon Bonaparte's colossal empire, an omnipresent force that seemed to stretch into every corner, every debate, every strategy room. This shadow wasn't just an emblem of military might, it symbolized the reimagining and re-engineering of Europe's intricate tapestry of politics, society, and culture. As the decades unfolded, the very map of Europe appeared to be a living entity, with borders morphing and old alliances dissolving to make way for new partnerships. These changes weren't merely geographical, they signaled a seismic shift in the very dynamics of power on the continent. The once clear demarcations of influence became blurred, reminiscent of the chaotic ebb and flow one might witness on the tempestuous shores of the North Sea during a storm. And orchestrating this vast symphony of change, standing resolute amidst the turbulence, was Napoleon. His genius was not just in his military prowess, but in his ability to perceive Europe not as a mere collection of states but as a vast, interconnected chessboard. Each nation, each leader, was a piece, and Napoleon, the astute grandmaster, always thought several moves ahead. His strategic gambits, be they on the battlefield or in hushed diplomatic chambers, were characterized by an uncanny foresight and a ruthless determination to see his ambitions realized. With every tactical decision, be it a treaty signed or a fortress besieged, he nudged the trajectory of Europe towards a design of his own making. Kings found themselves either sidelined or empowered, and entire kingdoms felt the weight or favor of his decisions. Through it all, Napoleon's vision for Europe, a continent unified under the principles of the French Revolution and yet under the control of the French Empire, gradually took shape, forever altering the course of history. As Napoleon's dominion grew, casting a vast and ever-widening net across the continent, the mighty Prussian state, which had once stood as an emblem of European power and pride, found itself increasingly entangled in the intricate machinations of the French emperor's grand design. The formidable Prussian military, renowned for its discipline and valor, and which had for centuries been the bedrock upon which the stability of European geopolitics rested, was put to the ultimate test. In the fateful encounters at Jena and Auerstedt, the Prussian line was not merely wounded, it was humbled. These confrontations transcended the typical narratives of war and conquest. They weren't just about territory lost or soldiers defeated. Instead, they marked a profound shift in the balance of power, heralding the waning influence of a nation that had once been at the epicenter of European affairs. The echoes of Prussian drums and the silhouette of their marching boots had for so long been synonymous with might and resilience, but now, they sounded more like distant memories fading into the annals of history. This decline of Prussia was emblematic of the fluid and volatile nature of power dynamics in this era. The continent was like a living tapestry, constantly being woven and rewoven, with old threads giving way to new patterns. And in this grand design, Napoleon emerged as the master weaver, pulling strings, tightening knots, and reshaping the fabric of Europe with an audacious vision and an unyielding ambition. Prussia's descent, in this context, was not merely a consequence of military strategy but a testament to Napoleon's unparalleled ability to redefine the political landscape, showcasing his relentless drive to mold the continent in the image of his grand imperial dream. Amidst the whirlwind of change and political turbulence that characterized Europe during Napoleon's rise, a phoenix-like emergence was taking shape in the East, the birth of the Duchy of Warsaw. This wasn't a mere redrawing of borders or a casual annexation. It was a masterstroke that highlighted Napoleon's profound comprehension of the deeper currents of human emotion and identity. The Duchy of Warsaw was not just a political construct, nor merely a trophy of conquest for the insatiable French Empire. In its conception lay a clear testament to Napoleon's shrewd grasp of nationalist sentiments that were bubbling across the continent. Recognizing the deep-seated Polish yearning for autonomy and identity, Napoleon astutely resurrected the echoes of a Polish state. In doing so, he achieved much more than territorial expansion. He invoked the memories of a proud nation, and in that memory, he found fierce loyalty and devotion. For the Polish people, the establishment of the duchy was akin to a dawn after a long, dark night. The weight of foreign dominion and partitioned lands had long suppressed the Polish spirit. But now, under the aegis of Napoleon's empire, there arose a beacon of hope and rejuvenation. Streets that had once echoed with the somber tunes of loss now pulsed with renewed vigor and dreams of a brighter future. However, the significance of the duchy extended beyond its borders. For other nations, it stood as a glaring example of Napoleon's strategic genius. Not only had he managed to bring a formidable region under his sway, but he had also deftly converted a suppressed populace into ardent supporters. By harnessing the powerful currents of nationalism, he transformed the Duchy of Warsaw into a fervent ally, a zealous participant in his broader European vision. This move was emblematic of Napoleon's modus operandi, where he didn't just conquer lands, he won hearts, channeling the potent fervor of national pride toward the realization of his expansive ambitions. In the grand theater of European geopolitics, where each act was more riveting than the last, the Treaty of Tilsit emerged as perhaps the most spellbinding crescendo of Napoleon's strategic symphony. At a cursory glance, it was a handshake between titans, France and Russia, two empires that stretched vast and dominant. Yet, beneath this veneer of diplomatic pleasantries lay a labyrinth of shrewd calculations and deftly crafted designs. This was not merely another document in the annals of diplomatic history. The Treaty of Tilsit was a masterclass in realpolitik. It was an intricate dance of power, a partitioning of European influences not through the might of the sword but through the ink of the quill. Here, upon the serene backdrop of the Niemen River, with its waters reflecting the cautious eyes of two emperors, was scripted a new chapter in the story of Europe. They weren't just delineating borders, they were drawing the very pulse and heartbeat of the continent. This monumental treaty was emblematic of Napoleon's ability to blend military aggression with diplomatic finesse. In its clauses and subtexts, one could discern the genius of a leader who understood the essence of power, that it wasn't just about conquering territories, but also about controlling narratives. The Treaty of Tilsit was a testament to this philosophy. While it acknowledged the domains and strengths of both empires, it silently underscored an undeniable reality: Napoleon, with his blend of audacity and acumen, stood unparalleled, a colossus overshadowing the European landscape. When one pans out to view the broader tapestry of this period, the intricacies and patterns become evident. Each event, each decision, from the humbling of Prussia to the resurrection of Poland in the form of the Duchy of Warsaw, and finally, to the audacious diplomacy of Tilsit, was a thread meticulously woven by Napoleon. Together, they painted a vivid picture of a continent in metamorphosis, being sculpted and redefined by the indomitable will and vision of its most formidable architect, Napoleon Bonaparte. Through his actions and decisions, Europe was not merely witnessing history, it was living a masterful epic of power, ambition, and transformation. From the epic battles to the whispered negotiations in dimly lit rooms, we've journeyed through a chapter of history that reverberates even today. A time when Europe was on the anvil, being forged and reshaped by the indomitable will of one man, Napoleon Bonaparte. If you were captivated by this tale of ambition, strategy, and transformation, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Ages in Motion. Dive into history with us, relive the moments, and understand the forces that have shaped our world. Until next time, keep the wheels of time turning.